Welcome back, everyone, and look at this, 2 videos in 1 week. We're on some kind of roll here. In today's video, we are going to edit this photo of my Mustang. I need something to post to Instagram, so I wanted to walk you through kind of what a basic Instagram edit would look like. Nothing super over the top, just kind of a clean edit. And this photo is actually taken, I believe this was a 50 millimeter. Yeah, this was with the 50 millimeter Sigma. It was at 1.4, so super shallow depth of field. I basically rested the camera on the ground. I used my wallet to prop the lens up a little, but I personally like that super low angle on this car. I think it really accentuates the lines and just makes it look really aggressive. This photo is going to be a single exposure, so we're not bracketing or anything. One thing that I did do though is because we shot it at such a low aperture, I did the focus stacking, or we're going to do the focus stacking. So if we zoom in here, you can see the front wheel on this shot is out of focus, but the back wheel is in focus. So this is the second shot I took, and this is the first shot. So front wheel focus here, and as you can see, the back wheel is out of focus. So once we bring these into Photoshop, you'll see that we're going to focus stack them, and we'll get a really crisp in focus from the front wheel to the back wheel, but we're going to have that nice out of focus background. I went through, just did minimal adjustments on this in Lightroom. I brought the shadows up just a bit. And then I also adjusted the wheels slightly, so it has a little bit more light going in there. So if we reset this, you'll see this is what it looked like before. So just brought those shadows up. I was really trying to keep the detail in the sky, knowing that with Sony cameras, you can bring a lot of that detail back into the car. So that's what it looks like. What we're going to do to get this started is we're just going to shift click both of these, and then we're going to right click and we're going to edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So this is going to launch Photoshop. So what we have here is it's taken both of those photos, it's put them in the same document and just made different layers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select both layers. We're going to come up here to edit, and we're going to go to auto align layers. Just keep it on auto, click OK. So you can see, adjusted it just slightly. Click on and off, you can see, did a little bit of weird stuff to the car, but let's see what happens when we go back to edit, and we're gonna go to auto blend layers, and we're gonna go to stack images, and we're gonna click OK. Let Photoshop do its magic. And so you can see it's made our merged image here. So we have the front wheel in focus, we have the back wheel in focus, and everything along the side is now in focus. So we're good there, and you can also see that it has content aware filled that area that we had from the auto aligns. So we'll hit Command D. We have these on our own layers, and we can start working on this image. So I think the first thing, let's go up to filter and come down to camera raw, and let's just play with this a little bit more. So you can see we have a little bit of highlight there, a little bit of clipping. Let's bring this down. I think we want to try to bring this sky down just a little bit more, see if we can get some detail back in it, or if we can get a little bit more detail. And maybe we bring the highlights down, see what that does, and maybe we shift this over to blue a little bit, and maybe we punch some red into it just so it is, since it is a sunset. I also think we want to get a little bit more highlight in the car, or bring the car up just a bit. All right, let's delete that really fast. Let's come to here and let's zero everything out. And now let's draw that. Let's just draw a nice big radial gradient over the car. And let's go in, maybe open up those shadows a little bit. Maybe hit the exposure some. Let's try to bring back those highlights from the background just a little bit. And I think that that's looking pretty good. So I think that's good for an initial. Let's go ahead and click OK. Let's see where we were at. Yeah, I think that looks quite a bit better. Sky has a little bit more color. Car's a little bit brighter. There's something weird up here. Let's go in. Let's get rid of that guy. I think that might be like a dome light or something. Just do that really fast. Get rid of that with the patch tool. Let's come back out. There's also something weird. You can see living in Arizona in the desert and with all of our rock trucks, it's not the best for keeping your front bumper looking crisp. There are tons of rock chips in here, and if you wanted to go through and fix all of those, like a super easy way is just this spot healing brush. You can just go here and you can literally just click on all of these, and Photoshop is so smart now that it'll just go and get rid of those without any fuss whatsoever. So you can literally do as much or as little of this as you want. And if you want to get rid of like lines like this, I think honestly the patch tool works a little bit better. So if you grab this and just kind of trace around this white line here, I think this was the lane marker line. It does a really good job of just kind of blending that in. And then depending on how crazy you want to get, if you want to start going into like this stuff over here, sometimes with this tool though you get that. So if I was going to fix this, let me just go a new layer just so we can see what it's doing. I found if you break the line, so right now the problem that it's having is you have this white area that we're trying to get rid of is right next to this black area, and it doesn't know what you're trying to do. So if you take your clone stamp tool and you go and clean that up a little bit and define that line out some, and then maybe we can come down and carry that down just a little bit without making our lines look too terrible. So now if we go back, grab that patch tool, and we come in here, now that it has that border, and you just pull that up, a lot better results. And then you can go over here and you can probably do the same thing now since we kind of cloned on both sides of the line. And just like that, that little line is gone. So this is all about like how much you want to go and fix this. Again, I told you we were just kind of doing this as a quick Instagram post, so we don't need to go too crazy on this. This isn't going to be a magazine shot. One thing that we can do to accentuate the car a little bit more is we can probably go in and dodge and burn some stuff. So again, just working on this layer, we can come over here to our dodge tool. So dodge is going to bring out the highlights. So midtones, let's keep the exposure at about 10, and we're just going to go over and we're going to paint on these little highlights and just make them a little bit brighter. And then in here, like on the front bumper, just anything that you see that's currently highlighted, let's just paint over that. And you can do like on the spokes of the wheels. And so if you look before and after, it's just bringing some of those out. And then what you'll want to do is grab your burn tool and do the exact same thing. So we're going to come in here and we're going to paint on the darks now. We have the same rough settings up here. It's still affecting the midtones. It's still exposures at 13%. And we're just going to come in here and we're going to paint on these darker areas just to darken them down just a bit. And that just helps really chisel out those lines. We can probably go back in here. Quick tip, if you're working in an area, and so right now we have the burn tool selected, if you hold down Option, it does the opposite. So this is going to dodge. So you're making it brighter. So if you don't want to go and switch the tool each time, you can just click on this, and then you can just paint around and look this little area we want to make brighter. Just click there. Everything else we want to make darker. That way you just don't have to go back and forth each time. And so now we'll hold down Option because we want to make this brighter again. And you can see what we just did there. We'll turn this off, turn this on. So it just helps define the car a little bit more. I'm honestly pretty happy with this shot as is. I think it's pretty good. I think one thing that might help it is we'll do this little selective color trick, and with the black selected, let's just pull the blacks down just a little bit. That just helps open up the foreground just a little bit. That was before, that's with it. Probably pull that back just a little bit. So I think that's where I'm going to end this quick little edit. Just wanted to do a quick little video of what a normal edit would look like. If you have any suggestions of what you would do differently in this, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think or what you'd like to see. And if you have any ideas for future videos, also leave them down there. Otherwise, until next time, take care.